So once we put the swivel seats in and the new seat bases and had the height adjusted the way we wanted to ride, we found that the visors, once they were down for low sun, really blocked our viewing. And you were kind of ducking down underneath to see under the visor and to stay out of the sun. So we installed Rosen sun visors. These are 3-axis plus slide. And so you have your standard visor, and these are tinted and you can see through them. In addition, they can come out and extend and retract all the way over to the side. You can set them right where you need them, tilt up and back away. I think one of the best modifications we made relative to safety and comfort, because you can still see where you're going when they're down. You can position them where you need them, and they tuck up out of the way nicely. Simple adapter bracket I made out of aluminum stock to go from the Rosen mount to the Promaster mount. And we have, of course, one on each side. And van safety is always on everybody's mind, and we've got a number of additional safety features. We put in the HeoSafe deadbolts for the front doors, and then we use Slick Lock for the side slider and the rear doors. So continuing on with the systems, security, we've got a Viper alarm system. The module's back inside there, and it has the motion sensor. The sensor right there is the glass break, and then on the roof we have another motion sensor for outside of the van. So it actually projects a cone-shaped sensor array, and if someone walks by the van on the outside, it'll pick up through the windows. And I've got this sensitivity and the cone dimensions set in such a fashion that if they're 2 feet away from the van when they walk, nothing will happen. Anything closer, 3 feet, or rather a foot, you'll get a chirp, a warning chirp, and then if you're right up against the glass, the alarm will sound. And if the threat walks away, then the alarm resets, the horn goes off, and the little blue light flashing lets everybody know that it's armed. So relative to the engine mods, if you look down, you see the black cap there. Underneath it is the oil cooler housing that's been updated to an all aluminum unit. Probably can't see it, but down in the front there's also a coolant crossover housing that has been replaced with an all metal one. We've located the Balmer external voltage regulator up on the Cal cross member. I wanted to put it on the inside, but it was just going to be too much collateral damage relative to punching a hole through the sheet metal, finding a place in the footwell, on and on. So we did put a temperature sensor under the hood during the summertime, and it got close but didn't exceed the max temp that Balmer allows for. Then this is the key-on accessory relay for gauges and other features that we wanted to have key-on power associated with it. And the blue spaghetti lines there, and you can see there's 2 little yellow valves. Those are the shutoffs for the coolant feed to the isotherm hot water heater. And gosh, just various electrical for the all the additional lights. And this is fuse box 3. This is been used for circuit protection as well as tie points. You see these 3 on the side are ties, auxiliary switch, drive lights, and fog relay. So Blue Sea, I just love the product, and I would highly recommend it. In a prior video on the van build and the brake conversion, we were talking about brake fluid, and this is what we ended up using. It's a Motul RBF 660, which is a .4 but ultra high temperature. So our van conversion is done and we hit the road. Cloudy skies are predicted for the next 3 days, so there's going to be minimal solar. No worries though, because we've got an alternator to keep the batteries topped up. Well, after day 2, the batteries are down to 60%, and somebody wants to stay another day. So let's just run the engine for 45 minutes and top the batteries up. Well, it seems fine, but it's not. Everyone who owns a V6 Promaster, in van life anyway, should know about the cam and the cam follower problem. Premature wear, the tick-tick, and it seems most of us just accept it. Well, I didn't want to be one of those. By design, the Pentastar uses a 2-speed oil pump. One of the results is very low 5 psi minimum pressure below 1200 RPM. I'll go out on a limb here and state that single-digit pressures, well, the parts furthest from the oil pump, the cam and the followers, are receiving very little oil. I wonder why all the failures. So to avoid premature cam and cam follower failures, we could just don't idle the engine. Well, you know, idling in traffic's bad enough, but to intentionally idle the engine to charge the batteries while parked is just asking for trouble. There is, however, an inexpensive solution. Intermotive Products, a company in Northern California, has a plug-and-play idle controller that, with a flip of a toggle switch, will raise the idle to 1500 RPM, which is the setting I used. I think you've got a choice of 3. And at this speed, the oil pump is moved into the high-pressure mode with a 30 psi minimum, happily providing much-needed lubrication to the cam and the followers. I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion on the vlog here, but let's just let common sense prevail. At 1500 RPM, you have better air conditioning performance, you have better alternator output, and improved engine lubrication to the distant pieces. So the system took me about an hour to install. A screwdriver, side cutters, some zip ties, toggle switch, and a little patience. It plugs right in, tees into the OBD2 connector, and aside from 1 or 2 simple settings, it's just really easy. What follows this clip right here, I've got the brochures from Intermotive, which, by the way, are not a sponsor. I received nothing from them. They're just a company I'm familiar with from my prior life. And then there's a short video clip of the product in use on our van. It's I would not operate one of these engines at, if there's excessive idle, you're just asking for trouble. But here's the solution. I hope it works for you.